He didn't do anything wrong.
Anyhow, my point, we're completely off the topic.
He and Gwyneth Paltrow should just skip off into the sunset together and not come back.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Vicis Interimo 30 Minutes to Kill podcast.
You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show, 30 Minutes to Kill. More or less. The incredible podcast with the unpronounceable name.
You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show, 30 Minutes to Kill, more or less. We're a movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. You can find us on iTunes, Stitchers, Podomatic, and just about anywhere. Type in VICIS INTERIMO. I am your host, Michael Mad Saxon Jones, here with my lovely wife and co-host, Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
Are you ready to talk about Overlord?
Sure, why not? Are you?
Yes. Okay.
All right.
I don't know, that was kind of a lukewarm response, like, yeah, why not?
Oh.
Okay.
That's just how you heard it.
Okay. Well, our show generally has 4 segments. Laid to Rest, where we wrap up any loose ends from previous shows. We have a short review of our featured movie, which in this case, as I said, is Overlord from 2018. Garbage In, Garbage Out, where we talk about movies, TV shows, and anything else we may have caught over the last week or so. And we end with a Crawling Chaos, a topic or factoid that we have never talked about before on the show. Sometimes silly, sometimes serious, most always chaotic. So let's just jump right into Laid to Rest. Last show was Mandy. Your opinions, thoughts, anything changed about that?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I have a far better description that I wish I had thought of during the podcast, but I had posted, of course, as I do, the show throughout different horror Facebook groups.
Okay.
Got a variety of comments, and one of the comments that came back was, or referred to rather, Mandy as being an experience. And that's exactly what it was. We didn't watch a movie.
Right.
We had an experience watching that movie. Yeah. It's
that we did.
It was, that's a perfect description of that. And I wish I could credit who said that first, but.
And do you remember me saying that I got the feeling it was the kind of movie that people either thought was genius or like the dumbest thing they'd ever seen before? Yeah. When I went and looked at the reviews, that is exactly right.
Well,
yeah, you either thought it was absolutely amazing and brilliant, or you just didn't get it.
Okay.
And thought it was dumb.
Well, I'm glad to say we got it, and I definitely,
Oh my gosh, yes.
Definitely enjoyed that. I'm curious as to whether, well, all right, that's Overlord. We won't talk about that yet.
What else? Yeah, what else did we talk about?
We talked about, I had mentioned that for dark anime, Dead Man Wonderland and Death Note were the way to go. That High School of Horror was more of a just strictly entertainment type thing. We talked about Nosferatu, the series. The series.
Yeah.
Yeah, NOS 4 at symbol 2.
Wow.
I did actually find the Cheddar Goblin commercial. So I included that in the show notes. And
the Cheddar Goblin is referring back to Mandy.
Back to Mandy, yes. So if you haven't caught, our show notes are available on Podomatic. You can easily get there through the Facebook group. Most places, So most places you can pull them up. Sometimes the links will be clickable. Sometimes they're not.
So last week's show, did our Crawling Chaos segment give you nightmares?
Oh, that was just I've come across the video stored in my history or whatever, and I've had to delete it because it was just so upsetting to me. That zombie snail, man, that was just too much.
Yes.
Yeah, that was something. Anyhow, that was the last show. We talked a little bit about, also Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But at any rate, on to new business, I say.
Onward.
Overlord 2018. A small group of American soldiers find horror behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day. Short, succinct, on track. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Doesn't give you any kind of clue what kind of horror they found, but yeah.
Not even a little.
I mean, you expect to find horror in wartime and...
Well, yeah, so that's one of the interesting things about this movie that I thought is like, okay, you're taking a subject that has been well documented, well, I don't know, how do I say it without making it sound bad? I don't want to say well worn. I want to say, because it's complicated because you're taking an actual factual thing.
Right.
And it feels like no matter how crazy and over the top a story you set against this backdrop,
Yeah.
it's never going to be as crazy and horrific as the real events.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
Well, they sure... are you sure?
I don't know.
I mean, it depends on what part of it you're talking
Well,
about.
I guess I'm just talking about the whole thing, because this movie, my few brief notes, that it goes straight to the action. I mean, you start the first half of this movie. I mean, it definitely feels like a war flick, and it definitely ratchets you up right from the beginning. You're in
that opening scene.
Paratroopers are being dropped out of the B-52s or whatever the bombers are. Or I'm not even sure. I don't know
They're not B-52s.
They're not B-52s.
No.
I'm not sure exactly what they are.
That's all right,
But
sweetie.
okay, exactly. War films are not my forte per se.
I love war films.
Then you had to have enjoyed the beginning of this for sure, because it
was that was outstanding. That was so well done. It was so real and just visceral and upsetting.
Yeah.
They did such a great job. Gosh darn it.
I guess she warned us she was going to call us back.
Yep. Hello.
If you have got 30 minutes to kill,
More or less.
join us at Vicis Interimo
That's VICISINTERIMO.
for a spoiler-free discussion of horror movies.
Old and new.
Classic and craptastic.
Nothing is off the table.
That's Vicis Interimo.
Okay.
It was really super well done. I mean, everything about the movie was super well done.
Okay. So you think?
I mean,
they
put some money into it. Just saying.
Okay. So I mean, the very
It was
first
a J.J. Abrams too.
Right.
I had no idea.
Okay. The first thing that I thought of when I saw the trailer was I couldn't help but think of Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's Army.
Frankenstein's Army.
Yeah.
Do you think? Well, and then we noticed it was J.J. Abrams. Do you think that you think the name was bad on this?
Yes.
Okay. Because it wasn't a clear-cut Overlord to me. Overlord.
Yeah.
Tells me that there is a specific person.
Yep.
And it gives me a certain frame of reference that
when we watched Frankenstein's Army, I wasn't totally happy with the title.
Right.
For that movie that.
Right.
But I would rather have had this one named Frankenstein's Army and the other one Overlord.
Yes. I think that's correct.
So I was waiting to meet the Overlord.
Right.
Like, when are we going to meet this? I mean, there were multiple people involved with what was going on here.
Right.
And the person who you could say, okay, well, there was one evil genius behind this. He wasn't acting alone, though.
Right.
It was for
Right.
Hitler, and it was for the German, the German army, and so all of that was a little wonky, but that's the only thing that was wonky about it, though.
Okay. And I almost want to say the movie could be divided in half, with all of it being good. But after you hit about the hour mark in the movie, like the weirdness and the craziness just ramps up. So I was talking earlier about the fact that this starts off right from the very beginning, with it being getting straight to the action.
Yes.
Once it starts and stuff, it just keeps building and building and building more tension.
It wasn't boring.
And then you hit that halfway mark, and then it starts going downhill or speeds up. I'm picturing a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And then it really starts going.
Okay, yeah.
That's my general opinion of it. And I cannot pronounce his name, but I couldn't understand why I didn't like that Nazi guy. Well, I mean, obviously he was a Nazi, and he was their colonel or whatever. And I couldn't understand what I didn't like. Something about him I really didn't like. Something about the actor.
Okay, who was
you're
he?
Smiling. I was going to say, did you realize that was Euron Greyjoy? From and like I said, I don't have his name. I've got it here in front of me, but I can't say it.
It was all clean cut with the light colored hair and everything. Yeah, it really throws you off.
But seeing him as an evil bastard, that was him for sure.
He was pretty awful.
Absolutely. And like you said, this whole movie was just well acted. It was well scripted. It was there are no complaints that I have on this one, really. I'm not giving it a 5, but it's definitely a solid 4.
Yes, for me as well.
Yeah.
And we didn't really say, we're not going to do spoilers because we never do, but the synopsis you read, I don't think mentioned what these horrors were.
Well, and I find it interesting that I came across a small little snippet, and I'll probably include it in the show notes, but IMDb sat down with the cast and asked them what movies they should watch to prepare for a zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
And I just thought it was funny that they used that frame of reference.
Uh-huh.
Because, like you said, we haven't talked about what the horrors are in here.
Yeah, and what is that?
And so I thought it was interesting that they chose to go the zombie route.
Okay.
Yeah. Just asking them that straightforward. Anyhow, I didn't mean to derail you from what you were starting to say.
I'm not sure how it's related to what are you... Never mind, because it'll be a spoiler.
Okay.
Which you're on thin ice there, because...
So I'm not talking anymore.
Well, yeah, you pretty much just called this a zombie movie. Or said something like that, but it's not necessarily...
That's not exactly factual, is it?
Yeah. People might think that because you just said that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that this has given them that impression. If they've done any kind of reading or seen the post, it's easy to be misled about what's maybe happening.
You mean if you see the trailer or whatever?
If you see the trailer, so there's...
But, okay, so, yeah, I was just going to touch on it briefly, and this got all dragged out, all kinds of crazy. Yes, our American heroes get shot out of the sky. They all end up in France. German occupied, of course. Small village. The Germans are living there and working out of a church in the middle of town. Mm-hmm. And they're basically taking people, the villagers, abducting people. You go to the church for a while, you don't come back the same, or you don't come back. So you get the feeling right away, oh my gosh, okay, they're doing some kind of crazy experiment thing, which they are, and that's the story.
But all of this is secondary for our heroes.
Yes.
Because it's a radio jamming facility.
Right.
On D-Day, where they need to be able to communicate with their forces and stuff. So their initial
there's a good
target.
Story. That's the whole the whole reason why they're there. I mean, it's kind of, well, then you get into the whole It's like, it's amazing. They got shot out of the sky, like in random directions, and they all found each other and found where they were supposed to be going anyway. But anyway, we wouldn't have a movie if they didn't find it.
Right.
So yes, their mission is to take down a radio tower.
Right.
So they have to get close to this.
No choice.
To these shenanigans. And I appreciate the different soldiers' perspective on things and what's going on. And
how it should happen and what have you. Yeah.
Because, I would be a great soldier because I was like, okay, dude, just...
stick to the mission.
You've got to follow your orders and do the mission. This is not what you're here for. Be a good soldier.
We wouldn't have a very interesting movie following you, would we?
No.
Okay.
But I enjoyed the cooperation between them all, and because in the beginning it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is going to be typical. They're kind of bickering with each other. Not everybody's not going to like everybody, and wartime, and especially back then, if you think of the time, it's World War II. You've got different nationalities of people thrown together, different. From different kinds of neighborhoods, from different states, from city, from rural, totally different people that would never be friends. Here you all are, get along, make it happen.
Yeah.
That's when you have to just go into soldier mode and just do it. So, but I loved all the conflict and
the interplay
friendship
between,
and there was a lot of really good things going on there.
Absolutely. A movie you would recommend?
Absolutely.
And what's your number on it? I guess we both said 4. Well, I said 4.
I would absolutely a strong 4.
Strong 4. Higher.
And I have to say, anytime there's human experimentation movies, like I get really scared because I thought if this turns into a gratuitous, violent torture. But it got real close for me, and I was about to get very upset because I thought, okay, this movie had such a strong start for me, and of course, this is all just personal.
Sure.
I was absolutely loving it, but when our poor hero finds himself where he's alone and he's realizing what's happening and he's trying to find a way out and he's getting a look at what's happening, I thought, oh God, this is where the movie's going to take a turn for me and I'm not going to like it. Like, this is going to completely spoil it. It got pretty close.
Okay.
I'm just really super sensitive with that. And then I was thinking, World War II... Nazis, medical experiments, all of that's real. So it kind of, I've read a lot of books and I've studied that era quite a bit, and it was getting a little too close to real, I think.
Okay.
So I was thinking, oh no, they can't go too far with it. I was having all kinds of emotional thoughts and feelings.
Okay, fair enough.
But then it was just enough to give you that kind of panic feeling, but then it reeled it back in, and it never really went back there.
Okay.
Because then I thought, oh God, there's going to be a big finish where you're really going to witness some horrors.
Right.
And it didn't.
Okay.
I mean, that being said, there was plenty of horror, blood and guts stuff to still enjoy.
Yeah.
But it took it away from the suffering of innocence and experimentation on people.
And I think we've talked about this before, and I don't want to belabor the point much more than the next 30 seconds.
Okay.
But we talked about the fact that, we enjoy horror, but I don't enjoy true crime. You know what I mean? It's one thing to watch it and know that it's safe.
Right.
But if we were...
Are you sure you want to use the term
I guess I shouldn't say true crime, because, but you know what I mean? I would hate to think that this was real. I obviously don't enjoy murder. I'll enjoy watching a fictitious account.
I was going to say, we love true crime movies and stories.
I'm a little, I think I've said this before. I'm
True
a little...
Detective, come on.
That's a fictitious thing. True Detective is not a true... Those are not true stories.
Okay. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I misunderstood.
I've said this before and stuff on here, and like I said, I wasn't going to belabor it, but I keep going. I don't dig deep into actual serial killer cases and things like that.
Right.
You know, I'm familiar with them. I know them. But I don't spend a lot of time thinking and obsessing on those things.
Right.
And that because it's too upsetting to me.
Okay.
You know, the idea that this really happens.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to watch them in the context of a movie.
Right.
And
So
that's
did
what I'm
this
saying.
give you that...
oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I mean, because, some people might not even know what the heck we're talking about. I think most of our listeners would. They're probably pretty well educated.
Yes, I think so.
But yeah, if you don't know, you can look it up online if you like. But yeah, the certain experimentations and things that were going on back then, and things they did to
truly
people.
horrific. And
seriously, humans can truly be evil.
Yeah, they are the
so
most
yeah,
evil
it was
monsters.
sort of it was going that direction, and it started feeling too real.
Okay.
Even though it was fantastical
in a fantastic setting, it was. Yeah. Well, I was going to say maybe it was a realistic.
Well, the one
setting,
woman
that
was asking him for help.
Yeah.
You know the one I mean.
Yeah.
That was pretty fantastical.
Yeah.
But
yes.
You know the one I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Anyhow.
Yes.
So we'll stop going off about this or whatever.
Yeah.
But great movie.
That certainly didn't. Yeah, we're fixating on that, but. It didn't spoil the movie. I think it made it just upsetting enough where I like to have emotions in a movie.
Right.
I mean, unless I'm not in the mood and I just want to eat my popcorn.
Right.
But it was unexpected.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Well, I'm glad because there was a while there where you were kind of bummed out by some of the movies that we've been watching. Or had been watching, but the last
so
three...
many bad ones lately.
But we haven't. The last few that we've hit have been, we're on a good run right now. So we'll see what we can do to derail that with Velvet Bloodsaw. Anyhow, never mind. What's...
Well, I was going to say, do you see that DVD there sitting on our coffee table?
I do.
12 movies in one pack of, bad... There's one called Germs I'm looking at.
Oh,
That'll really destroy our winning streak. I'm prejudging it just by its name.
Exactly.
I'm a germphobe, so I'm really scared. It might give me nightmares.
Anyhow, let's move on to our garbage in, garbage out. Before we get to that, I, as always, want to thank our patrons at Lonely Bob, Big Al V, and Goldafish. If you want to be a patron, you can go to our Patreon page, click to support us, or just comment, and subscribe on anything you might see, whether that be on the YouTube page, or Stitchers, Podomatic, or any of the other places we can be found. In the meantime, let's do Garbage In, Garbage Out. So you're going to have to tell me what the Mr. Rogers movie we watched was.
What it was?
Yes.
The title?
The title of it, yes.
Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Okay. I'm confused because when we first sat down to watch it, I thought it was going to be Tom Hanks. Is there a Fred Rogers movie or there's something? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not out yet.
Okay. Probably not. I don't know.
No, the Mr. Rogers documentary came out a year ago.
Okay. And it's great. I mean, it's Mr. Rogers. How could you go wrong?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Why are you making faces at me?
Because Tom Hanks is not Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Well, no, Mr. Rogers is Mr. Rogers, but...
And Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks.
Okay.
I can't see him as Mr. Rogers.
Well, I won't make you
And
then.
in the trailer, he just sounds like Forrest Gump. He's trying to act like Mr. Rogers, and all he's doing is reviving Forrest Gump. He was the wrong choice.
Okay. I see.
I love Tom Hanks.
Okay.
I do.
I was going to ask that next. I mean, is there something we need to talk about?
I love him.
all the way back to Bosom Buddies?
Yeah. Heck yeah. I watch that every week. Oh, man, I love that. I do not love him as Mr. Rogers, though.
Oh, I've gathered that.
I could probably do a better job.
All right.
He's too iconic. He's Tom Hanks.
Okay.
That voice and everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers didn't sound like that.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers wasn't that tall.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring
Rogers.
up. I'm going to bring up again. You stumped me last week saying that I was reading a book or bringing up the book, but I was actually listening to The Dead Zone.
Right.
And the most interesting thing about that, aside from the fact that I'm enjoying the unabridged version of it,
Yes.
and it's read by, I'm going to have to cut out this long silence as I look this up.
Why do you have to say who it's read by?
But because it's somebody you wouldn't expect.
So unexpected that we have no idea who it is.
I absolutely know it, but I can't call up his name right now.
You're having
And
a senior moment.
It's sad that I'm going to have to look up Pineapple Express and to find him.
Oh my gosh. Oh dear.
James Franco. Oh my gosh, why could I not think of that?
Pardon me as I heave.
That's why I had to bring up exactly who was reading it, just to get that.
All you had to say was freaks and geeks and...
why Pineapple Express popped in my head, because I've never even seen that.
He is a Pineapple Express.
He's,
I'm sorry, he didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
He's just one of those... Everybody's got a couple of actors and actresses that just for some reason they just can't. I can't.
So that's why I had to bring up the fact that he was reading, and you wouldn't expect him. It wouldn't pop to your mind.
That might be okay, though.
Yeah, I mean, but just he's not iconic enough. You were complaining about.
Well, it's kind of funny.
Forrest Gump's voice, but
be terrible. Forrest
he
Gump
should do it with Forrest Gump. That would be awesome. Oh my gosh, I would so listen to that. Forrest Gump was a dead zone.
The other day when we were in the car and the CD came on and started.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who it was reading it because the voice was kind of weird. Like, I wasn't sure. I don't know.
Okay.
There was something wrong with it. And I'm not just saying that because I know who it is now.
Okay.
But yeah, I meant to ask you.
He might have been doing somebody else's accent or something.
Does he usually...
He doesn't. That's why it was a surprise to me that he was reading it.
I don't think of him as a voice
actor and stuff. But no, I think it's pretty awesome, actually.
Well, I'd much rather listen to him than look at him.
Oh, jeez, harsh.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Anyhow, my point, we're completely off the topic.
He and Gwyneth Paltrow should just skip off into the sunset together and not come back.
Oh my gosh. So anyhow, the whole point of me listening to The Dead Zone,
yes,
the unabridged copy of it, is how much revisiting it as an adult or more of an adult,
okay,
the story has changed for me, or certain elements of the story.
All right.
I have a different perspective on it than when I heard or read parts of it or read it or whatever before.
Okay.
And it's interesting to me. That's one of the things that...
You're maturing.
I'm getting old, yes. With my senior moment trying to remember his name.
You're evolving.
I like that better.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Evolving.
I've evolved so much the last 2 months that I don't know myself anymore. I might also just be going through some weird hormonal stuff.
You might need medication.
I don't do meds. I am all natural.
Yeah, we could tell you're off your meds. So anyhow... Anything else that we'd watch? No, because you're still playing Skyrim.
I watched Orlando.
You did watch Orlando?
Because I love Tilda Swinton.
I do too. I've got so many projects right now. I wasn't able to.
It was really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was quite odd.
Okay.
But it was.
Well, you did say Tilda Swinton, so.
Yes.
Odd in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it had just a little bit of Billy Zane in it.
Oh, man, he's awesome. I love him.
I know you do. Oh, my God, and he was so cute in there. His hair was long.
I prefer the bald Billy Zane from...
I don't know. We'll have to
from Zoolander.
Yes. He's great. Hair or not, he is wonderful. Yeah.
Or, what was it? The the Tales from the Crypt movie, Demon Knight.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Well, it would have been set if you sat down to watch that with me just because Billy Zane was there. You'd be disappointed because he was
it's got
not.
Tilda Swinton, so I enjoy that.
She was
too,
great from beginning to end, of course.
Of course.
It called it her breakout role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look up because
We'd have to look it up
because
because
it's not
there's
a
so
new
many
movie.
other things that we've seen her in. I think, but
I mean, it was just an allegory for sure. It was very fanciful and
right.
yeah.
All right.
About she's basically a person who it follows her life for 400 years.
She's an immortal. Somebody tried to chop off her head because I could definitely get into that.
It's
Highlander Part 2? No.
no.
Oh, okay.
Tilda, no.
There can be only one.
Yeah,
Connor
there
McDonald.
is only one Tilda.
Anyhow. Sorry, what was the movie?
It
So
doesn't
she's
matter.
lived for 400
I'm
years?
over it. You just keep butting in.
Okay.
Let's move on. This is taking too long.
All right. On to the Crawling Chaos then.
You have a crawling chaos?
Yeah, I've got one set up and everything.
Oh, okay.
Are you impressed? You
I had
should
one
be.
too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe yours is more interesting.
Mine absolutely is more interesting.
I doubt it.
Oh, I don't know. You freaked me out enough with that worm last week, so.
What do you have against parasitic flatworms?
Nothing against them. That'd be awful. I don't want anything in them, with them, nothing to do with them. Thank you. One of our favorite shows, well, at least my favorite, and you tolerated it and it kind of grew on you, was Person of Interest.
Yeah.
And if you remember, there was a subplot, or along the line, there was a theme of recruiting super intelligent individuals, or not super intelligent, but highly intelligent individuals. I don't know if you remember that subplot or whatever in this movie.
Yeah.
Do you kind of remember that? Anyhow,
Yeah.
let me get to the point. The point is Cicada.
Okay.
And that is a code that was put out there to be broken, or to be found, cracked, and broken by somebody. There was, if you remember, there's a subplot in the movie, or not in the movie, but in the story or whatever. Anyhow.
It was a TV series for people who don't know.
Who don't know, okay.
And it wasn't... my feelings for that show never changed.
Really?
It was always just kind of there. Like, I could sort of take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it okay while we watched it, but, like, if it never came back... I don't know. I was sort of indifferent about it.
Okay.
There were some characters I really liked, though. It got better there towards the end. And it went out with a bang.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Getting back to the Crawling Chaos.
Yes.
Cracking the Code of Cicada, 3301. It's 4 episodes in The Great Big Story. You know, those little videos that are usually maybe 20, 30 minutes long or whatever, just about big stories that are just kind of out there on the internet.
Yeah.
Stuff. There's a 4-part story on cracking the code of Cicada. And so in 2012, a secretive group calling itself 3301 began recruiting for highly intelligent individuals online. And the candidates had to prove their skills in code breaking, cryptography, computer program.
Who was hiring these people?
Just a group.
Okay.
That's it. A secretive group.
Okay.
They call themselves
Mr. Robot?
3301.
Mr. Robot?
Maybe. So you can tell that we're kind of into these things and stuff. So it's a fascinating
Now I love
watch.
Mr. Robot.
I know.
That was a show that just had me
Right from the beginning.
Yep.
We need to finish that. We need to go back and enjoy that all again.
Yes, we do.
But what you need to do now is you need to watch Cracking the Code of Cicada.
What exactly is Cicada?
Cicada is the puzzle.
Okay.
Is the puzzle that,
Who created this puzzle?
I just told you. The secret group that calls itself 3301.
But I thought they were the ones cracking it.
No, they're the one that put it out there to recruit highly intelligent people online.
Oh.
And they're purported to be a benevolent organization.
Test.
Yes.
Come join us. You can
if you can crack this.
Oh. Why didn't you just say that?
I just did. You're
Are you
interrupting.
sure?
You're interrupting me now. You might be tired. It might be time for you to go to bed. I think you might.
Well, I guarantee my crawling cast topic was going to be a lot simpler than that. Simpler, yet more elaborate and confusing and amazing.
Well, I hope you wrote it down, then. We'll talk about that next week.
Well, I'll remember what it is because I was going to talk about Sir Turdington the Pooh.
Oh, my God. All right, on that note, I think we killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. You can, as always, get in touch with us by contacting me directly at madsaxon, MADSAXXON at yahoo.com, or look us up on Facebook, VICISINTERIMO, or just click on the link that I'm sure is somewhere on your page right now. Or you can just friend me, S. Michael Jones, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Your eyes stuck shut.
It's because I just yawned.
Nice.